Hello everyone and welcome to Night Hour Winter Break here at Bathurst. Bit of a weird one, winter. It's a bit warm over in here in the minute, but anyway, it's the winter break of Night Hour 3-round, a lovely champ we have, and today I'm joined on the comms by our lovely commentator Jesse Lee, and on our lovely cameras sat in a little tiny box room is our lovely Ryan Mawson. Very good cameraman we have here. And yeah, it's a lovely little 3-round champ we got going on at the minute. On the way up to Christmas, and as you can tell, winter break, Christmas time is around the corner. And yeah, we've got a nice stacked field here today, Jesse. What are you expecting, and how are you as well?
Well, hello, Ted Edwards. Hello, everybody watching at home as well. You know, I'm fantastic. It's going to be an interesting mini championship, and it's going to be an interesting race, more importantly for us tonight. 34, maybe 35 plus cars around the mountain tonight in 3 different categories, Pro, Silver, and Am. You know what it's going to be. It's going to be chaos in the opening laps. Talked to the stewards a little bit prior to the race. They were cautiously optimistic that it will not be a disaster situation like it was on the Monday Champ several weeks ago. So beyond that, they're cautiously optimistic. The other thing, too, we're looking at Alexander Vanderwood, and he's in a Jag. And not only is he in a Jag, he is in a beautifully colored Jag.
Yeah, sure is. And yeah, Jag on the mountain is pretty fun. I've drove it before. Well, Tom Bryant was driving the V12 Aston, and that was a good race, that was. But yeah, nice to see a different car in the mix-up today. And as you can see, we have 3 classes of drivers. We've got the Pro, and we've got the Silver, and we've got the Am. So that's not, we haven't had that for a while, have we, Jesse? In Night Hour, it's normally just been Pro and Silver, but the reason being for that is we haven't had a pre-queue. It's all been driver sign up. They can choose what they what category to sign up in, as long as they are not trying to sneak their way into a lower class.
Yeah, well, I gotta say, I pumped the chat earlier. I said that you're gonna see something you've not seen before here in this Night Owl series, and it has been a long time for RCI to have an event or a series that does not have pre-qualifying. Pre-qualifying is our normal vetting process. We take your speed and we put you into a class. All the same stuff applies. The same stuff I say at the end of every stream. Doesn't matter what skill level you are, we have a split for you. We still have that. It's just that it was manual placement. It was like going back to the old days a little bit, Ted.
Yeah, exactly. Many moons ago, Jesse, I remember those days pretty clearly, driving in it, from going from Am up to low silver, up to high silver, because we had 2 different race servers at the time, and Now we're down to the 1, unfortunately, but I think that's because you know, we were in COVID times and everyone was staying in, and now we're all let loose again, and a bit wiggly there on the exit of the final corner. But yeah, it's nice to see a lot of drivers, different classes, all mixed in together, and especially on the mountain, it's going to be a pretty good race.
Well, before we can get to the race, we have to tackle qualifying. And in the interim, I have to say this: Ted Edwards, you're not just my broadcast partner for this series, you are also the event manager of the series. You set this up, you're the one that makes the decisions around here. And strangely, you've called this a winter break, despite the fact that winter doesn't start till after the final race in this series. Do you own a calendar?
Let's not talk about that, Jesse Lee. I needed a name, and I thought winter would be quite good. And as we all know, shops like to get all their winter stuff, Christmas stuff out early, so why can't RCI? But
are you telling me you are following corporate protocol to have Christmas break or winter break before we've even gotten to the season? That is cruel and unusual punishment to people like me, but I'll take it nonetheless. But everybody has been released onto the track here, and we'll get some laps in, and more importantly, getting a good lap and getting a great lap. Two very different things around here, Ted, as you well know.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It is a tricky track to master, and I've had many hours here. I've done a few 12 hours. I've done a few 1-hour races, and I did the Monday champ here in the Ginettas, and that was fun. Ginetta around here is fun, but down this long straight, you're bouncing off that limiter in 6th gear. But it is a lot of fun driving here, and yeah, the mountain is not to be messed with. You know, one wrong move and you find a wall, and almost your race over.
Well, of course, some of the things that you'll notice here is there's a lot of names that you may not have seen in RCI competition in quite some time. We have our own theories here in the box of why that may be, but before we get into all of that, time to take you a lap around Mount Panorama inside the Bathurst Esports car as we enter turn 1. That's called Hell Corner, and if you don't know why it's called HE double hockey sticks, well, you'll see on the very first lap. Thundering up the mountain straight, it is quite the rise. It is, I think it's 100 feet or more, and then you fall back down a little bit before it rises for a second time into turn number 2, Quarry Bend, a turn that so very few laps around here you get perfectly right. It's going uphill, it's got nice camber to it, deceptively quick as well. Into turn 3, the cutting, which is sort of a double apex corner here as well. You see a lot of diamonding being off the corner as it's known. Then you get into Griffin's Mount, very tight confines here into that particular section of the racetrack. Reed Park, Solomon Park, and of course McPhillamy Park, the park section of the track, very close there, coming through Solomon and now McPhillamy and down into Skyline, and it needs no introduction. You can see a beautiful Australian skyline here going through the S's, and finally this corner, the one that keeps drivers up at night, the Dipper, right through here. Very close confines again, easy to mess it up. It's a rhythm racetrack above all, and you will see cars 2 and 3 wide through there, I promise you, at some point. Forest Elbow has ended more races than you can imagine. Might it do the same here tonight? Navigated very well by the Bathurst Esports car right now down the Conrod Straight, aptly named after one of the British touring cars, the Australian V8s. Blew a rod out of the engine, and then named it the Conrod Straight because it absolutely tests what the upper limit of your engine is. Down through the Chase, added for safety reasons many years ago, adds another last-ditch effort chance to get around somebody. And down into Murray's Corner, the very deceptive flat turn back onto the abbreviated pit straight. Dario Barzaghi sets our representative time. It's a 2:02.137.
Yeah, it's not as fast as I've seen him go. He went a bit quicker in the practice session, but we'll have to see what he can do. And as Daly beats him in a 2:01.807, so yeah, a bit of competition from Daly in the Race Ventura car. I've got to love that livery. I've raced in that car, and it's a lovely livery he's made there. Flamka follows behind in second as well, Jesse. That's competition there. We've seen Flamga in a lot of the night hour championships from from day one. I think he's been in it, and he's been grinding through silver, low silver, and then high silver. It was back in the day, and up to pro he is now, and yeah, showing that he is pro pace.
Flamger's a success story. I think we can talk about him as long as the race is going to be tonight. Timothy came up through the ranks, like you said. He did the right things. He's gained more speed. He can race right up there with the best of them these days, and it was nice, I think, from our perspective in the booth to be able to watch that occur. And I mean, you know, just because you start out in AM class doesn't mean you're going to spend your entire sim racing career in AM class. If you have the patience and, of course, the free time to continue your pursuit of more speed, there's nothing keeping you from being on a higher level. Timothy Flamger showing you exactly what he can do. The Alpha Sim Sport driver, the American driver, one of the few American drivers who has ever actually won any RCI race that we have ever put on. I think there's only 3 American drivers that can claim that they won one of these races.
It's pretty mad to see. Let's see, Flamger is on a faster lap at the moment. Will he get the timing going into the last 4 bends? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's a good track, this, Jesse. I drove this in the Lexus myself, and that was pretty fun with a bunch of guys. And yeah, it's one of those tracks where you sort of need a good stable setup and a lot of time on the track. It's definitely one that you need to learn quite a bit.
Yeah, and I was talking earlier about the difference between a good lap and a great lap. A good lap here is one where you don't crash on and you get the lines, and it's nice and fluid as Flamger goes provisional P1, a 2:01.340. It's good enough to take pole for the moment from Daly, and that's huge. That was nearly half a second gained by the Alpha Sim Sport driver. But yeah, you're absolutely right. A great lap around here is one where you're absolutely fearless. It's one where you don't really have to hit the brakes or get off the gas, and you're up on a curb and you get all the right sort of angles and slip through Reed and McPhillamy Park. And then, of course, you go down through the S's and all of that, and you just got to be perfect. You basically have to straight line those corners, and it's all how you set it up. Sometimes around here, more often than not, slow laps are fast and fast laps are actually slow because you're trying too hard. Racing drivers know what we're on about.
Exactly. It's the mountain isn't to be messed with, like we've said many times before. And look at that Jag in AM class.
Ryan Lawson keeps going back to the Jag for a couple of reasons. Not only was that an improvement that puts them in provisional pole in the AM class tonight, Ryan Mawson, our broadcaster for this evening, absolutely loves that car, and I do too, for that matter.
Yeah, it's a good car. That's another car I drove around here as well. I forgot what champ it was, but I know it was an RCI one, and it's actually pretty quick around the mountain. Surprisingly, it's quite nice to drive. But yeah, I hit a few walls on the way down and ruined a good finishing position. But in the Genetic Cup, I didn't hit any walls until the last 5 minutes, Jesse, in an hour-long race. So I did pretty well there, and I brought home a 3rd place, which was very nice.
You know, there's another one of our crew that can say the exact same thing. Ryan Gill was leading a race here in a Lamborghini and crashed coming into pit lane to do his mandatory stop in the final several minutes of the race. He rather would wish I'd forget about that, but I can't. Timothy Flamger goes quicker again. It's a 1:22, putting everybody another 10th and a half behind him. It's looking like Timothy Flamger might be the car to beat tonight.
Yeah, see, it goes Flamger, Daly, Dolber's come into the mix now. Yannick Schmidt is in 4th. That's a driver we haven't seen for a long time. Got Oliver Curtin is in 5th, and Buzz Argy's dropped down to 6th now. Pimlott in 7th. Pimlott, if everyone remember rightly, he won season 11 silver class. Not that many weeks ago, and he did say with RCI night owl tradition, it used to be if you finish in the top 3 at the end of a season, you would automatically get bumped up by the admin of the championship, and we've taken that away for now. And he said in tradition, I will bump myself up to pro, and there he is in the pro class in 7th. So that is a nice little throwback to the old days.
Here is Masatoshi Kaneko trying to get some more ground on Vanderwood, and we'll get up to P2 in the AM class. By the way, I promised you 34 plus cars. It's as advertised tonight. There appears to be 36 cars connected tonight. There quite scarily could have been upwards of 40 some. Of course, sign outs always a thing. And for the better of the racing, I think 36 is a better number than 40 plus.
Yeah, for Bathurst, it's a nice number to see 36. We were supposed to see, well, we had 48 signed up. A few of them couldn't make it tonight, unfortunately, but I wouldn't mind 48 cars at Bathurst, but I'm not sure the drivers would, and I don't think the stewards would either.
I absolutely mind it. Every single race I've ever called with more than 40 cars here has gone absolutely to pot. Ted, tell me a couple of things about the series as the event manager, race admin for this series. I have to know. That's a very lovely KFC car. They're dropping the hammer and frying the chicken, perhaps. Rudy Phil Malter car. Tell me a little bit about it. What's it like? No drop rounds. It's a 3-race championship. What are the deets?
Well, no, I believe there is. I believe I put a drop round in, Jesse.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's just as a little winter break.
It's night out, baby.
It's night out. It's just a bit of a relax, so people don't have to think they have to be there for every race. Change it up a bit for night out. You got a drop round. You got 2 sign outs maximum. So it's just a little bit of chill before Christmas. It's my little present, my little early present to you guys.
Cody Watkinson goes P2 in the 228 Porsche. That is a name that I am very unfamiliar with, but making a name for themselves right here. Gets cozy right up behind the Jag of Vanderwood. That's less than a 10th difference, a couple of 100ths. We're going to actually, no, excuse me, it isn't. It's a couple of tenths off of each other for the lead in that class. Last time I checked, IB Atta the quickest in the silver class, and everybody else doing their level best to maintain pace. So Ted, there's a drop round. It's a little bit of a break. This championship, it's not Night Owl season 12 or whatever season we're on. I forget, I'm old. It's not that. This is a mini championship. It's meant to have fun. The drivers are meant to be more relaxed, like you said, and have fun. We're a little bit more relaxed and we're having fun in the booth as well. But that also doesn't detract from the fact that you are leading the commentary duties tonight. Are you sweating a little bit?
And not yet, Jesse, not yet. The pressure's not piled on me just yet. But yeah, it's a little bit different, isn't it? It's night out. You've got to change it up every now and then.
Has it dawned on you that you're the one doing the start? You're the one doing the all of the things that I would normally do. Has it dawned on you yet that you are doing all those things?
Not really. I just take it in my stride and take it as
you're going to have to tell them to like and subscribe at some point. You're going to have to do all that stuff. And I'm sitting back here and I'm relaxing because I don't have to do any of that for the first time.
Jesse, you need a break at some point. You are
love you, buddy.
You do everything over here at RCI for the comms team, so you've got to give you something back.
What a sweet guy Ted Edwards is. Absolutely so. Leon Seeley, the SOP esports car, the man from Barbados, one of my favorite sim racing drivers. It's Night Owl. I'm going to be biased a little bit. I love Leon Seeley. He's such a unique talent to the sport as well. I think he can drive anything quickly. And I know a lot of esports pros are like, well, yeah, I can do that too. But this is what I'm talking about. I don't know how familiar he is with that particular car, but immediately challenging for the lead here. And that's what you get from the man from Barbados.
Yeah, we got 1 minute 8 seconds left of qualifying. Last few laps for people to get a good time in. Flamga's still on pole, and obviously followed by Seeley in second.
It was a hell of a lap by Flamger, wasn't it, though, really?
Yes, 2 minute 01.122, followed by Seeley with a 2 minute 01.497, followed by Dolber with 201.682, and then we've got Barzagi, Daly, Pimlott, and Schmidt, and Fillmore in pro. And we've got the 505 in 10th. It's a provisional pole, of silver class. And then I see Alexander van der Wald in the 38 is pole position in AM at this time. Oh, a bit slide there from Adam Carlisle in that V8 Aston. It's not what you want. That's going to lose a good few tenths coming out of that final corner. But they do have another lap to do. They don't hit any walls, that is. And here is John Razor coming down the lovely mountain. This section here, Jesse, is a bit nerve-wracking, especially when you're on a good time from the first sector. It's easy to make a mistake.
It really is. It's the tightest part of the racetrack, and a lot of people fear the park section, and me as well, admittedly, although that also depends on what kind of car you're in. If you're in a mid-engine car, it's a lot less scary in those cars versus a front-engine car. But coming down through the S's and all of that, it is a one-lane racetrack. They will try to go 2 and 3 wide down through there at some point. It just will happen, especially near the end of a race. If you're fighting for a position, you're going to absolutely go for it. But realistically, you need to be single wide through there, and even still, very treacherous.
Final few corners for the number 1. I was right, that was number 19. They've just done that. Here comes John Raisin. I think we've got one more car coming down the mountain. It is Yannick Schmidt. They are on a faster time at this moment, coming out of the mountain now, coming onto the Conrod Straight. God, I haven't seen a Mercedes for a while, Jesse. It's quite nice to see the car back in action. Only one of them. I've got 2 of them. Flamger is on pole with one.
Yeah, it's nice to have. It's nice to have the Mercedes. It's nice to have that engine note. It's very unique. You can close your eyes until when a Mercedes AMG GT3 car comes across in front of you. Yannick Schmidt trying to do his level best for Pit Stop UK Sim Sport here. And I think, like you said, everybody else is not on laps. This will be your final lap you get here in qualifying.
It's going to be a better lap. Oh, 4th, 201.502. Yeah, it was 0.6 faster.
Oh, I was wrong. Carapato comes across the line, and they are the last ones to run a lap. The car behind them was not on a qualifying lap. Well, as we often say, Ted, this is the part where we would normally show you the standings for the championship, but this is the first race in the championship, so there isn't, so we won't. So, Ted, what do you want to talk about?
It's there is yeah, I don't know. We've got a lot of champs on, Jesse. What champs have we got on? That's what we should talk about right now. Obviously, we've got Night Owl. You can sign up mid-season for Night Owl after this race if you fancy doing 2 more races. The tracks are shown for everyone now, unlike normal Night Owl seasons where they were hidden before sign up. Everyone saw them, and we'll speak a bit more into that into the race. It's quite interesting this time. We have Donington Park and Watkin Glens for round 2 and 3. So if you want to have a look on the website at racerci.com, you can have a look at our championships. The Night Owl is on there. We also have Bathurst 12 hour next weekend. Friday mini series is coming up with
also called the Winter Series, and I'm just shaking my head at who makes the Friday. Is that Bart Macha who does that?
I think it is, yeah.
Shake my head on that one.
And we've got Random Track Wednesday. That is coming up. You find out the track on the day of race. So you don't really have time to practice until the race server opens. That's going to be different. I want to see how that goes, Jesse. Something I don't think we've done forever or for a very long time. But
absolutely.
we got obviously Geneta Cup on a Monday. You can sign up for that, and Thursday GT4 Champ, obviously on a Thursday. That's pretty fun right now. We got GT4s and TCX, the M2. I'm driving that with a few other drivers. We got Tom Bryant is in that's his championship, and he is in a GT4.
Race 1 was absolute chaos this week. It was fantastic to watch, but it was absolute chaos. You had intermingling of the 2 classes and crazy stuff around what is one of the biggest tracks that you could possibly run at, Suzuka. Luckily, it was Suzuka and not someplace like Oldham Park.
Yeah, it was a crazy one at Suzuka, but you know we got there after a restart, and yeah, it's pretty fun. The TCXs, if you haven't tried them before and you do own them, or then you can give that a go. Obviously, if you don't own them, you can go in the GT4s if you own them. If you don't know them, then there's always, Night Owl GT3s you can drive Friday, and the Wednesday Champ as well. Have a look on the website. There is a lot on there you can choose from, and yeah, we've always got races going on. Join the Discord from there, and they've got a few channels where people will chat, people share stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty nice community we have here at RCI, and everyone's very friendly.
Yeah, get involved. We'd love to have you. We certainly had a influx of returning drivers for this championship. We have a prevailing theory that it was due to the fact that they didn't have to do pre-quali laps and all that. They could just sign up and get placed into a respective category representative, more or less, of their skills in general. And that's old school RCI. That's 2 years ago RCI, before the implementation of the placement that we do nowadays. But that has led us to this particular situation, Ted. We've got a ton of cars on the grid, 36 of them. It's the mountain, 3 different classes. I'm going to be completely frank with all of you. There's no way there's not a big accident somewhere.
Yeah, I've already put my apologies through to the stewards, saying sorry that I combined the splits. And then we have this many cars on Bathurst. Oh, this car not moving. Who is that?
And is the 426, I think it is. Yeah, just sitting on the grid here. Something amiss there.
Twice.
Cars refired back up and good to go. They will be able, by the way, to rejoin in their position. No, oh, nope, they've stopped again. Something very clearly amiss there. They'll inevitably figure that out. I have been told by the live stewards a welcome in and a Hail Mary and a prayer for our armada of live stewards tonight. They will be taking the brunt of this particular race. They're hoping that it isn't too terribly bad. They don't expect it to be one where they have to stay late and burn the midnight oil. I certainly hope that is the case for them. But they have told us if there's a 15-plus car pileup, it will be, no questions asked, automatic restart.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of crashes here on lap 1, Jesse, even on lap 2 or 3, because they're still bunched up. And going through the mountain, through especially this section here, they get side by side quite a bit, and it's a very fast section. And if you get it wrong, then you're going to end up in the wall coming out of here, and touching the right hand side curb can also make you go into a lovely spin that ends you down the mountain. So it's a very difficult track to master. You definitely want to have a good setup running, else if you're not stable, you're going to be crashing. But we'll have to wait and see as they come through Skyline and the S's down to the dipper, and then it will be into the Forest Elbow to go onto the back straight. Just have to see how it goes tonight. It's going to be a good one. A lot more cars than we're used to, which is nice to see a night out again. Yep. Saying this again, back in my day, Jesse, we had 2 splits, 2 servers of cars, and full at least 40 on the grid by the end of the championship. And as soon as the COVID restrictions lifted, that started dwindling off a little bit. And as you say,
it's weird. It seems like a lot of people had plans on Saturday night all of a sudden. It was very strange, all of that. Well, the way you survive this is just by being careful and obviously a lot of luck. We're hoping that there is no such problems. Now, admittedly, we have had 40-plus car grids here at the mountain, and it was completely fine, other than the few isolated incidents. Tonight, though, you have to worry about the multiple categories, all the different cars that you have here. Could that play a factor? And of course, our top 2 right here that will be fighting into Hell Corner. Will it be hell or will it be heaven for either of these two? Ted Edwards, we're getting ready to go green. I'm nervous for him. Take it away.
Here we go, coming under the liquid molly. Anna, I'm going to call her. I don't know what they call that, but here we go. Dario Barzaghi in second place, followed by Seeley, and obviously Flanger in first in that lovely Mercedes. Who is going to get the jump? Who's going to get a good start? We'll have to wait and see as they come into Murray's corner. Side by side, getting ready. any second now, and the floor, the foot will go to the floor, and it's green, green, green. Now, will we see any 3 wide into the first corner? We normally do. Any crashes? No. Very, very clean at the front here. Flamgex keeps in front of that Lexus number 8, followed by Seeley Smith. Still there. Dalber looking for the
my goodness!
outside. There's a
What car
crash.
off?
Really? That's Jordan Daly in the wall. I want to know what happened there, because that, oh, that's going to be heavy and it's going to hurt.
Looked like they
You
got
don't
turned.
want. Single fire up towards the cutting. Look at that engine roar from that Lexus number 8.
Barzagi's got the lead. He's got the lead from Flamger on the initial start. That was brilliant stuff by the Team Ballas esports driver. Dario knows how to get a start. Oh no, there's been a huge crash here in the cutting. Several cars are piling in. The waved yellow flags are out. But other than a few cars, I think everybody else was able to get around. That will not constitute a restart as everybody fans out now.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It could have been a lot worse. And I think that was Adam Carlisle who got turned there in the Aston Martin, or lost the rear end. We'll probably have a look at that soon if our lovely Ryan Wilson can find a replay. It was, look at that front end of the Aston. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. They have a mandatory stop they have to do, but obviously that's going to take quite some time to get taken care of. But the silver lining is you are at Mount Panorama, and what that implicates is that you're not the only car that's going to visit a wall here tonight, Ted. We know all too well, especially when you get on a lower fuel load, when you get on worse tires, all of those things, they change your braking points, how far you can drive the car into the corner as well, all these things, and it can create issues. Well, the Mercedes of Mr. Timothy Flamger, wait a minute, is that not Flamger? No, that's Schmidt. That is Schmidt. The entire time we thought Flamger had been passed. Flamger still leading the race. Barzagi second. Barzagi was being chased by Schmidt, and now Seeley trying to make a pass here for P3. Joe Dalber is trying to make the pass on Seeley for P4. Timothy Flamger goes through with the quickest lap of them all.
Curtin falling back a little bit there, maybe a spin. Doesn't look like there's any damage what I can see. But there is a few people in the pits. Adam Carlisle is in, got the 22, Daly's in the pits, and Jimmy's in the pits as well. The car that we saw on the start finish that couldn't really get going. Not sure what has happened. Maybe we'll find out next
issue there.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, Jordan Daly's in the pits, didn't do a lap, so I wonder if they're just fixing damage and going back out. Not too sure. As we're on with Powell in the 924, Aston Martin being chased down by 14 Beamer.
Santos leading in the silver class over John Eraser and IB out of the top 3 there. We saw Gaida there trying to make a move to work into the podium spots, and Danny Santo trying to make a move on Rudy Philmalter. That's the end of the pro field, and Santo doesn't want to lose his 1.9 second gap he has to John Eraser here working against Rudy Philmalter. Philmalter has no interest in allowing him by. Santo is going to try and pile on the pressure. Philmalter is trying to gain every little bit of an advantage, but they're still neck and neck as they come down the Conrad straight. Flamger out front, Barzagi and Schmid, your top 3. Seeley and Dauber in close proximity right now. And can I just say, breathe a sigh of relief with us in the booth, everybody at home, the stewards. That was a lot better than that had any right in being.
Yeah, I was a bit worried for them, but it's not been too bad so far. Obviously, the cars are still bunched up. They'll still be fighting. We will have to keep an eye out for some yellow flags. Flamger, Barzagi, Smith. Barzagi takes the Speed Juice fastest lap at this moment in time. 3 laps into the race. You've got Santo, Eraser, and Atta in silver. Now, saying Eraser has actually been moved up to pro after this race. All the drivers do know.
Oh, so, that's true. You told me that and I forgot.
I am here to remind you. I see another yellow flag with 111. Is that Oliver again? Well, I think it is. That's not great. I wonder if the setup's not great going through that little kink of...
I wonder if they had damage early, Ted, and they've been trying to tough it out here, but it has damaged the car in such a way it's affecting the aero as they try to come through the chase there, maybe.
Yes, that's also could be the thing there. We see Santo on the rear end of Fillmore. Now, I know Fillmore was in one of our Discord chats earlier saying, I feel really slow. Can you put me down to silver? And I just said, no.
Well, he is up with the right class right now. This is the splitter of the SRI eSport BMW, looking at the back of the KFC liveried Rudy Philwalter Audi, one of my favorite cars in the field. And yeah, I mean, Philwalter, you could argue, and I'm not going to argue this, but you could argue Philwalter's holding Santo up, but he's not really. This is just a straight up race. And yeah, if Santo's quicker eventually, maybe he gets to go through, but Santo isn't really worried about racing Philwalter, other than the fact that he's being caught by John Eraser, who Santo probably doesn't know the Eraser is a pro car, because again, if I had forgotten and you had told me, what chance does Eraser have to know that, or excuse me, what chance does Santo have to know that Eraser is a pro car as well? So you got to be careful in situations like that. You wouldn't want to throw it all away for a fight that does not concern you. Vanderwood taking a shot down the inside of the chase. Almost had the Lamborghini, but has to pull back in line quickly to keep Priscina behind him now.
Some good racing going on. Look, Mawson's back on this Jag again.
It's a good car.
It is a good car. And it's quite a nice livery they have going on that car there. As we look back at the 288. Of Cody Watkinson. We've seen Cody a few times in night hour races recently, which is nice to see. A few people going into the pit lane. I see Michael Firth is in the pit lane now. I have seen a message from them. Wheel is not working. Cry emoji, so that is not great, unfortunately. Daly's still in the pit lane, obviously after the first crash. Oliver's still in the pit lane. Stephen Clark is in pit. Camille in the 77 is going into the pit lane now, and Alan Kerrigan is in pit lane as well. Now, there is a mandatory pit stop, Jesse. Would you like to hear?
Yeah, do go on. A couple of questions. Mandatory pit stop, what is required? Number two, is there a pit window, or is it just pit whenever you like?
There is a pit window and a mandatory pit. We have a 1 litre of fuel required, and it is a 40-minute pit window. So 20 minutes in, it will open, and 20 minutes before the end it will close. So you've still got 12 minutes 20 seconds till it opens, and that's going to hurt for some people that already have damage.
Yeah, it sure is. They're going to have to come in again. Daly, by the way, sitting in pit lane, live commenting on the broadcast. Very clearly feels that he was adversely affected in the Mountain Straight. And, well, by the look of things, he definitely took a very harsh left-hand turn. That would have been impossible otherwise. We were riding on board, and we were watching the Kvetch driver, Vanderwood. They lead their class in that Jag, a very tangible lead to Watkinson in the Porsche. They were close in qualifying. They're still close on the racetrack. And meanwhile, back up front, it is the same story. Flamger has walked away just a little bit, 1.4 seconds the gap first to second. Schmid, though, right on the back of Barzaghi, and Dauber's right there, who has made the pass on Leon Seeley. Seeley back to 5th place for the time being. And those are your lead 5 that are all relatively close to a group. Though Seeley, I've just noticed, has fallen off the back of Dauber by about a second. Don't take your eyes on Joe Dauber. He's definitely coming up through the front half of the field. Adam Priscina is in a really strange place. They're a silver car, and they have to very respectfully, but also quickly work their way through the top of the AM class here. Easier said than done, Ted.
Oh yeah, it's one of them where you're fighting for overall position, but you're not fighting for any points in the championship. So it's you just got to let the pro car go through. But it's when they're letting them through is the problem. This track's not great for letting people through, and it's not great for racing people either. Obviously, through the mountain you can't really overtake because look how tight it is and narrow. And one wrong move and you take both cars out and maybe collect some more that are behind you. And going down Conrad Straight, if you have the faster car, then you're gone. Which I'm expecting the Ferrari to be quite quick in a straight line here, if the setup is right for it. But yeah, a very difficult track to do anything on. Letting people through, getting past, being a back marker on this track is quite annoying sometimes. But it is a lot of fun. Like I say, if you've never tried Bathurst before, give it a go. It's a good track.
Oh my goodness! Welcome everybody in who has joined us. We have larger than usual viewership tonight, and I think it has something to do with where we are and also how many of the cars that there are. So wherever you are in the world, welcome in, and thank you for spending your late Saturday evening with us. If you've never been with us for an RCI broadcast before, let me just tell you that this is slightly different than how we would normally have our broadcast. Of course, we're always like that on Night Owl. It's Night Owl Baby after all. We have a little fun with this one, including the racing on the track. The Winter Break Championship has brought everyone seemingly out of the woodwork, and it has been quite a good start, admittedly. If you're looking for a race summary, a couple of incidents that may have involved a couple of cars, and one incident that could have been absolutely catastrophic in the cutting on lap 2, I'm pretty sure it was. Could have been lap 1, but either way, that's been just about it. A couple of cars have ran off themselves. The stewards are reporting several cars are out breaking themselves down into the chase and going off on their own accord. Nothing abnormal there. That happens every single race thereabout, but ooh, a touch of the wall by Pavel Gaida there, 924, and those little hits will continue to add up. But yeah, it was, as I said earlier, cleaner. The start, that is, was cleaner than it had any right to be.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, we get a car hard into the wall. A couple of other cars. Were those the leaders? Were those the leaders that have crashed here?
Flamger and Barzagi, am I? It's Yannick
No,
and Barzagi.
that was Schmid. That was Schmid and somebody else.
Ooh. Oh, and there's
Schmid,
more
it was
cars.
Barzagi. You were absolutely right. Schmid and Barzagi have crashed, racing for second place. Local Yellows here as more cars pile in. They're waiting for the 36-car field to come by before they can do this maneuver. Now, this is embarrassing, but it is necessary. They've waited for the cars to come through, and it's still scary as several of the early pitters are coming through now, but that was just about as good as that could have ever have been.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse. A lot of cars were slowing down, seeing there was getting close here into the final corner. Between these three drivers right here, but yeah, it's yeah, some drivers seeing that the yellow flags are up. Some drivers still going full pelt and ended up in having an accident, but stewards will pick up on that. And you know, stewards were saying it wasn't too bad at the start. Now they've got a little bit of work to do to find out who caused it and what happened, and you know, they've got a lot of cameras to look at there, but they'll hopefully they've still got 46 minutes. They should be able to sort that out. And I got my maths wrong, Jesse. The pits have been open for 3 minutes now. It's 10 minutes in and 10 minutes before the end it closes. So I obviously can't do maths tonight.
Well, I have been completely thrown for a loop there. Our broadcaster and everybody is saying that they can't find the report of contact between the two cars. I reported it, that there must have been contact. They were racing in close proximity, but it could have been something completely different. One of them could have spun, the other one could have spun, trying to take avoiding action. We'll see. Our broadcaster, as we've went away from live photos, live pictures, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to find exactly what happened between second and third place that has completely changed the complexion of the top three of this race. And on top of all of that, of course, Flamger out in front has continued to gain. Now here is the top couple of cars. This is Barzagi going down into the S's. Oh, he just overcooks it. And well, there was contact, but it was rather after the fact there.
Oh, the Ferrari.
Oh, and he gets spun by Joe Dauber, look.
Oh dear, so that's how that happened. Oh,
ooh, that's not a good idea there.
No. It's very hard. I've been in that same situation, Jesse. Been stuck where Barzagi is, and I've been stuck where the Mercedes is, and you can't see. If you ain't got no one in your ear that can see, it is so hard to do, to move. All you got to do is, hopefully, if you've got the track map open, or obviously in real life you don't, but it's you just got to hope that there is a gap, and you don't want to lose too many places. But yeah, it's you don't want to get penalties, a really bad penalty for taking someone out for a really bad rejoin. So we just have to wait and see. Barzaghi is in 27th now. It is in pit lane. Obviously, you can serve the mandatory pit. And where's the other Mercedes gone? Not too sure, but here's Cody Watkinson in second in AM at this moment in time. And there they are, Yannick Smith down in 25th. Done mandatory stop. Yeah, they obviously got going quicker than Barzaghi did. Out of that, because obviously Barzaghi decided to give a Aston Martin a bit of a cuddle, trying to get themselves turned around again. But yeah, that's oh, there's a car off on there's a car off there. It's 720, McLaren 720, I believe, on the left-hand side. It was Jimmy, the one who was having troubles earlier on, so. Hopefully they can get that fixed for the second race, which is 2 weeks away. We do have a break in between with the Bathurst 12 hour, Jesse Lee. That's going to be a bit of fun. I think I'm driving in that in the V8, so we'll be back here again next weekend. Unfortunately,
Timothy Flamger's crashed. Timothy Flamger for Alpha Simsport has crashed on the mountain section of the track. Several cars have gone through. Huge damage on the front of the Mercedes.
I didn't even notice. I was talking about next weekend. We should be talking about this weekend. What is happening now? Now that is a lot of damage. So...
Oh, he's going to have contact with the Porsche. Very dangerous situation as Flamger, the #1 qualifier, came in. Nobody could touch him in qualifying. Led every single lap of this race thus far and has brought that car to the pit lane. Now, was that a crash with a back marker or was that another self-inflicted accident? My goodness, and that puts, I believe, Joe Dauber, who did continue after the additional contact coming through the S's with Schmid. Dauber has taken the lead, but I worry Joe Dauber might get a penalty for not respecting the yellow flag.
See what happened here, Jesse. This is very interesting. I thought it was Yannick. Obviously, they're in very similar liveries, so...
They are indeed.
Oh,
no.
It's Jimmy. That's what happened.
The stewards will not like that. And, one bit. Timothy Flamger, absolutely complete passenger here, and that is Joe Dauber going around to take the lead of the race.
And that's the McLaren.
Here comes everybody else. And that was the McLaren you saw, Ted. You saw the ending result of that particular incident.
Yeah, I did. I wonder why the McLaren was off into the side, and yeah, it was Jimmy. And I'm not sure what happened to Jimmy. I don't know if they had some issues again with their equipment, like we saw on the start finish. At the formation lap, had struggled getting the car going. So I wonder if the car turned off or something happened. Obviously, but yeah, it's knocked Flamgood right down into 16th right now, and. That's probably their podium gone in this race, unfortunately. But it's one of those. Both Mercedes ended up in horrible crashes, to say the least. And here's the person we haven't spoke about.
Oh, Will Stevenson making a move for CLR down the inside, has the legs, and he's just going to be let through. And that's probably the smartest thing anybody could have possibly done. Why on earth did Stevenson qualify so poorly? I have no idea.
I'm not too sure. I hear they are quite good in the VA. And
that's Vanderwood, by the way, the
so.
AM leader into the pit lane to do their mandatory stop.
Everything's happening at night owl. It's
just kicking off.
It's just kicking off. Still got 40 minutes left, Jesse.
Do you know what it is, Ted?
What is it?
It's Night Owl, baby.
It's Night Owl, baby. Oh yeah, it's
This is classic Night Owl. Again, I told you, I warned you that this is an interesting championship Night Owl. It's always strange in comparison to the other ones. This is classic Night Owl right here.
Yeah. And yeah, let's talk about the tracks.
Do go on.
We have 3 tracks. This is something different I decided to do for the winter break compared to the summer breaks. The summer breaks I normally choose the tracks like normal, and this time I decided to give the drivers, I think 6 options it was, and they voted on 3 tracks they wanted the most, and they came up with the tracks we have. Now I can tell you it was between Spa, Monza, Donington, Watkins Glen, Bathurst, and Hungaroring, because we haven't had Hungaroring for a while, and I didn't think anyone would choose that. And to be fair, 10 people did, but that was it. But yeah, we got Bathurst, Donington Park, and Watkins Glen. Surprisingly, Spa and Monza wasn't the top voted ones. Bathurst was the most voted with 34 votes. I was very surprised at that, being how difficult of a track it is, but the people wanted it and the people got it. So yeah, that was a different one we did this time round. And also for the pit requirements, we normally keep them hidden until race day, until the server does go live at 10 o'clock GMT. But this time, everyone, the drivers can see what it is way before the race is, on race day. So they can see round 2 and round 3, so they can sort of prepare. It made it a little bit easier for them. They don't have to worry about, do I need to take tyres today? Do I need fuel? Is there going to be a pit window? Is he just going to chuck in 5 pit stops? Who knows? But yeah, this time they can see them, so it's a little bit easier for them. It is Christmas spirit. I mean, already. I know it's not December yet, but
I will refrain from making my normal soapbox speech about when the Christmas season starts and all that on this particular entry. We do have some stewarding decisions that have already been made. These were made on the first couple of laps, so this is nothing to do with any of the chaos we've seen in the past 2 or 3, but no further action between the 777 and the 197. So that was the incident that took out Jordan Daly. The 197 moves over when the 777 has overlap, and that's deemed what caused that incident. Drive-through penalty for car 319 for hitting the 142 and taking them out. We saw that as well. That was in the cutting. There was a 5-second penalty for car 111 and an additional penalty for car 111, 5-second penalty, totaling 10 seconds for causing incidents and not holding brakes. A warning for car 108 for rejoining unsafely. Racing incident between the 1 and the 903. A racing incident between the 89 and the 1. And a racing incident for minor contact between the 777 and the 246. As I said, all the things that have happened since the first couple of laps, all the chaos has not been adjudicated yet.
yeah, there's still some more that the stewards are looking at. God bless their souls. It's not been as bad though. Like we said already, could have been a lot worse. I've seen turn 1 crashes. I've seen the cutting, really bad crashes up there, and I've been involved in some of them where someone's got taken out going into it, messed up their braking, which is very easy to do in that corner, and you end up getting sandwiched between a load of cars. But fortunately, we have not had that tonight, which is very good news for us and the drivers, and obviously the stewards. But just looking at the top end of the field, we've got Dolber, Seeley, and Fillmore.
Say that team name. Say that team name for Dauber, please.
So anyway, we got. I'm not saying it, Jesse. How dare you? Get out of here.
I don't know. Dauber's had that team name for a while, and I'm not sure what he's trying to portray, but I'm too afraid to ask at this point.
I don't ask questions. But
I'm here to talk into the microphone, not draw conclusions.
We got Dolber, Seeley, and Fillmore first, second, and third for Pro, and first, second, and third overall. We got Santo, Powell, and the Razor 4th, 5th, and 6th. Obviously, sorry again. The Razor is in Pro. I keep forgetting that, Jesse. So we've got.
It is confusing. It'll be fixed in 2 weeks for round 2.
It will be fixed. We've got Santo, Power, and Atta first, second, and third for silver. See, Atta in 8th at the minute, but fighting with Lewis right behind them. Is it right behind them? I think so. Yes. I cannot see tonight, Jesse. We also have a crash at the end of the Commonwealth Straight as well, but yeah, Atta's got their work cut out. Another M4 behind them. Lovely looking car. I've fallen in love with the M4 actually, Jesse. I thought it was an ugly car to start off with, but I'm actually falling for it, as they say, which is surprising. But it's all a carry on.
I was going to say, it's definitely a better looking car now than the initial shock whenever it was launched. I think it was such a departure from what the company has been known for in the modern era that it was a huge shock. And I think the more we've gone on, I saw that Lexus there trying the iRacing line through there. This is ACC, mate. That doesn't work here.
Yeah, iRacing 2023. Watch out for that over here at RCI. That's
yeah, a lot of things have happened. We'll catch you up on that. The second and third place cars contact with each other. That was Barzaghi and Schmid. It was a single car accident at first, but both of the cars got involved. That led to Dalber having a further accident with Schmid, who had taken over what was second place at the time. We assume the stewards are going to look into that. We know the stewards will look into that. It was contact. Then, just 2 laps after that, the leader of the race, Timothy Flanger, who was unrivaled at that point, had an incident with a car that was several laps off the pace through the parks section of the racetrack, and that has caused them to come down pit lane. They're P15. They are the leader in their class of the cars that have pitted, but it was a lot of damage. I doubt that they will be the leader of the race, but they might be able to salvage a top 5 out of this, maybe even a podium if their pace is good enough and if their luck is good enough and holds out throughout the rest of the race. Joe Dalber is the leader of the race, but still has a pit stop to give, as does everybody inside the top 10.
Yeah, and don't forget Dalber's incident with Schmidt as well. That might take into account of where they finished today. We'll have to wait and see what the stewards do say. But yeah, it's a little bit of a mix-up right now, positions-wise, because a few people have pitted and some people haven't. So if you're looking at the timing board there and thinking, why is there so many silvers at the top end and there's some AMs? It's because they haven't pitted yet, and the people still need to be filtered back into their positions. But not been a bad race so far. People are still keeping it clean for now, but penalties are coming through, and we have 2 more. Well, we've got 1 penalty and an NFA. And first one is a lap 3, turn 14, involving the 28, the 333, and the 1. 15 seconds for car 333 causes severe avoidable contact through not reacting to cars slowing ahead. That is Miller in the AM class gets the 15 second, as you can see on the screen there. In lap 6, turn 18, involving the 903, the 6, the 319. NFA 903 and the 319 don't have enough time to react to this number 6 standing still, unavoidable contact. So yeah, some NFAs, some penalties, some racing incidents. It's just Bathurst, and it's now. That's how it goes, Jesse, isn't it?
Yeah, Seb Brunier, one of our huge crash there by Danny Santos into the wall. The wall saved them from going around. The SRI esports driver had a huge one there.
I wonder if they caught the curb on the left.
Oh, the mirror, by the way, is not recorded. The mirror was what actually happened, and you saw that Ferrari in the mirror have a huge crash into the wall. That happened live as we were watching the replay. It is confusing, and no, we have not invented time travel here. But yeah, so a couple of crashes there happening in the meantime, but huge damage there for a driver inside the top 5 and trying to take down Pavel Gaida for the lead in the silver class. David Lewis, the GGSR driver, has had a crash.
Yeah, they were the ones that were chasing the 505 a few laps ago. We saw. Oh, gone too deep, gone too fast.
Done that myself a lot of times.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I don't know who's really at fault there.
I mean, not for me to sort out, but I will say it's such a difficult part of the racetrack to get into a predicament like that, because you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't in that case.
It's unfortunate for both drivers. Obviously, they were getting spun, getting spun into the wall, getting some more damage, and obviously the Lamborghini getting damage on the front end. It's not what you want, but these things do happen. It is Bathurst, and you got to be aware all the time, Jesse, of the cars in front and yellow flags. If you hear yellow flag, or you see it on the little box inside the cockpit. You just gotta be wary of, especially when you come down here. If there's a yellow flag, you just gotta be more careful. On his punt in the rear end from Galinsky on the 877.
Oh, and this is a dangerous situation
Oh,
here, trying to
no.
reverse back across the track. Parapato is going to do the
Oh,
right thing and
dear.
slide
Yep.
it down the hill, hopefully spin it around in the process. Looks like everybody else
Oh,
was
just-
able to get around. And from Domenico, that was absolutely excellent driving
Yep.
after being turned around like that. My hat's off to him.
That's close. Yeah, very well said, Jesse. I would have done the same thing. Whack it in reverse and just slide it across the barrier, and it doesn't matter if you get more damage, as long as you don't get hit again, which can be a lot more damage than just bumping into the barrier with your rear end. You know, you can fix it. They still gotta. They've done their pit stop, but you know they're gonna go and probably repair it. It doesn't look too bad, but yeah, the last thing you want is another car inside of you. And I've had that once, and yeah, I had like a minute of damage to repair, and it was not fun. But very well done for getting that car moved off the racing line, and a nice rejoin as well. Didn't hit anyone. That's the main thing.
It either goes, again, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And if you slide it down the barrier, you come off the barrier and collect another car, that's just, you know, a penalty that you're going to get, obviously, for causing a collision and not being safe. But at the same time, you can't sit there forever as well. You've got to do something. And sometimes sliding it on the barrier the way that they did, and you're looking at the traffic because you're backwards anyway, you can kind of have an idea of what's coming at you, is maybe the lesser of the two evils. Lewis has joined us in chat to say that they have retired from the race due to VR technical issues. And, well, that is another mechanical retirement from tonight.
That's a shame. These things, unfortunately, do happen. Hopefully he'll be back in for round 2 and round 3. Or you can do a sign out as the car comes back into their pit box. Was a bit weird at an angle. So it was one of the Lexuses. Not sure who that
Cody
was.
Watkinson, by the way, racing for the lead in AM class. Vander Wood has more than gapped them. This is the fight for the lead. Watkinson has lost a great deal of time here to Vander Wood with just a fantastic stop by the Jag. And it will not be a fight for that position, but of course will hang on to second place as there's not another AM in sight.
Yeah, well, Cody's time was a 1 minute 06 as a pit stop, and Alexander's was 41.7 seconds. So
Damage, do you wonder there?
I
Or a
would-
tire change.
It's either a tyre change or damage, or both. But yeah, definitely wasn't just the fuel that you need. So it still keeps them in second place. So because Miller does have a 15-second penalty, which I believe you have read out. I read that one out, Jesse. Silly me. We do have some more. I'll read out. Lap 6, turn 14, involving the 8 and the 6. Warning for car 6, causes avoidable contact with the 8. Again, lap 6, turn 14, involving the 8 and the 6. Warning for car 6, blocking the track for the 6, increased to 5 seconds for the warning. So that's 2 warnings as a 5 second. Incident on lap 6, turn 14, again with the 8 and the 6. Again, warning for the 8, causes avoidable contact with the 6. And again, at lap 6, turn 14, the 8 and the 6, warning for the 8. Blocking the track. I wonder if that's posted twice, because that's just 2 same penalties, which then both equals to 5 seconds after ask the stewards in a second, where we have 2 more lap.
No,
lap
I think that's correct. I think that's correct. There's a warning for avoidable contact and then blocking. Oh, I see. It is doubled up. It is doubled up.
Yeah. That's doubled up, it's fine. It's only a 5 second for 2 warnings on the 6. That's Galinsky in silver class, as you see in 17th. Lap 6, turn 14, involving the 8, the 98 and the 777. Warning for car 98. Unsafe rejoin, unavoidable contact between the 8 and the 98. No further action for the contact between the 98 and the 777. Lap 8, turn 6, involving the 426 and the 19. Drive-through car 426. Brakes on the racing line. 19 has no chance to avoid contact and is taken out.
Well, something that has occurred, and I don't have anything coming through from the stewards department. Pavel Gaida, one of the cars racing for the silver win tonight, will not get to contest that. They've got a drive-through penalty, and considering there's nothing turned into us, I think we have to conclude that was either obtained on pit lane for minor speeding or ACC assigned a track limits penalty, which is actually semi-difficult to get those here, but it's not unheard of.
Yeah, that's I think I think you can get your drive-through for speeding, yeah. So that's not great.
if it's minor speeding,
If it's
and that's
minor
within
speeding,
a couple
that
of
was
kilometers.
changed.
Yeah, it still counts as speeding, but instead of getting a stop and go, you only get a drive-through, and that is confirmed to us. That is what Pavel Gaida has done. Minor speeding in pit lane, that's an automatic drive-through. The stewards had nothing to do with that. That's ACC assigned.
Yeah, and also, what about silver class? We have lap 14, turn 16 involving the 14 and 69. 5 seconds for car, 69 avoidable contact. Nice. But yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yannick Schmid has made a huge error coming through the chase. That car involved in a huge calamity earlier on, trying to claw back some of these positions, claw back into a position where maybe they can compete with Timothy Flamker, but that's not done them any good. Will Stevenson driving off the track. Connection lost, more like grip lost coming through the S's.
Ouch, Jesse, ouch. Will's done good so far. Had a appalling qualifying for them, but could have been anything. Could have been just not feeling it today. Obviously, it is quite late for Will. But yeah, still got pit stop to do. But yeah, Yannick just going really deep, and I wonder, were they trying to overtake Cody there?
They definitely were, yeah.
Yeah, it's just. Oh, here we go side by side. Neil Pimlott, and is that John Eraser? This is a fight in class. Eraser is pro. Do not forget that. The drivers do know. This is why Pimlott is racing so hard. Not just for the overall position, but it is class position. So really going at it was very nice to see. Will here is trying to get past the 505 of Atta, silver class driver. They should just let Will come by, but obviously fighting for that overall position, saying no, go away. I want to keep here. I want the 7th place. But yeah, it's 22 minutes left of this race to go, Jesse. It's sort of flying by now.
Yeah, it's been absolutely chaotic up until this point. Look at Will Stevenson going up the inside. It's not going to give Atta any sort of recourse here. Just had the horsepower down the mountain straight, and job done. The CLR driver up one spot, and that puts him in more close contact with Neil Pimlott and John Eraser, who are his next fights in class.
Ooh, that's
Ferrari. That's not a Ferrari, excuse me. That's a NSX. Completely slow. Oliver Kearton. Is there contact here? What exactly happens as they come through Skyline? Well, nothing there. There it is. Into the wall there.
Ooh, yeah.
Got to watch out for the dipper. You can have the best Skyline and S's of your entire life, but if you hit the wall trying to navigate the dipper, that's exactly what happens to you. Completely can ruin your race as well. Kearton didn't necessarily come as bad off as they possibly could have done there, but certainly damaged the car and might have affected the aero balance of that car.
Yeah, look at Pimlott all on the rear end of a Razor. Trying to do it again, just a little kink. Cannot make it work. You see that M4 is not as quick down the straight as the 720. Now, this Lexus should be. There you go, yeah, look at that speed. I think Kerrigan just let off a little bit. Barzagi, knowing that they're in knowing that they're in a different class and don't need to fight, which is very well played there by them. Oh, Jesse, I forgot. There's a Nissan.
Not only is it a Nissan, it's Kevin Boss. He's joined our commentary team. You've heard him on Fridays, you've heard him on Mondays, and he races whenever he can. And he has entered the Night Owl Winter Break Series, and I knew he was going to enter a GTR. He talked about his thought process, but right now he's getting out-dragged by the M4. Look at this.
Oh, can he keep ahead now? The M4 will have the inside line. He should let him go through, being a silver class car. Yeah, very well played from Kevin there. And it's nice to see Nissan out on track again.
Yeah. Oh, he's not done here. Boston keeps down to the inside saying, look, if you're going to be that slow after making the pass, I'm going to take the look. Had no intention of out-braking himself there, but just took a look, said, look, if he's doing it again, look, if you're going to be slow out of every corner, I'm not just going to let you have this.
Ooh.
Kevin Boss, who, by the way, qualified in the middle of the Anfield, is looking to have a pretty decent day, all things considered, considering how many troubles the AM class has had on the mountain today. He's in about 4th place, and if it goes particularly wrong for any of the cars in front of him, he'll have a podium here.
Yeah, he's done very well for himself today.
Here we go again, round 3.
Keep going. Round 3. Pimlock, just make the move. There are the
he needs to lay off a little bit coming out of Forest Elbow, because he clearly has him the entire way down. He just doesn't have the overlap.
Oh,
he needs to lay off a little bit in Forest Elbow. Neil, if you're listening, lay off of him in Forest Elbow. Get a better run. Don't try to pass him until you're past the kink and Conrad. You can do it.
Oh, Neil heard you, I think, and he's going into the pit lane. Will Stevenson going past him now.
Joe Dauber also in the pit lane out of the lead of the race.
Dauber he's done his pit stop. Pimlock and Eraser are in, so they both came in together. So Seeley, Philmotter, Stevenson, and Atta are the only cars on the track that still need. The only cars that are in the race that. Oh, a little tap there from Yanni on the corner. That still need to do their mandatory pit stop. So not many cars left. Only 8 minutes to go. They're not really going out too far into the race, Jesse, before they do a pit stop. So I'm guessing they took. Well, I don't know. I don't think they took low fuel, so they don't need to. There's no tyre change, so I don't know what I'm on about. Who knows? Just night out, like it's late and too much stuff going on, Jesse.
Yeah, just to recap what Night Owl was in its original iteration was meant to do. It was meant to give North American and South Americans and even Australasia market as well a better start time for races a little bit later on in the evening, not in the middle of the afternoon on a weekend time slot. And it accomplished its goal. You have a lot of people from those many different continents and regions in this race, but what we couldn't have ever anticipated, and I say this every time, what we couldn't have anticipated was Night Owl being used by a lot of these fantastic European drivers to come here and highlight their talent in a completely different format. And they've absolutely shown out, and you know, not that I'm counting or anything, but they've absolutely trounced the other regions in wins and championships as well. Europe, of course, leading the way in championship wins in this series, and that is through all of the different categories. One other thing I wanted to mention, a little PSA for all of you that like, subscribe, and do all that stuff that we ask you to do every single race. First of all, sorry we sound like a broken record, and number two, we've been trying to get to 4,200 YouTube subscribers. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, of course. YouTube has been doing their level best to keep us from hitting that mark. They have a monthly cull on inactive subscription accounts and stuff like that. We've been hovering around the 4,190 mark for a while, and that car definitely looked like it was losing connection for a second. It was doing its best.
It was Yannick doing a bit of
moonwalk impression.
That was yeah, I wouldn't want to be Cody watching that right there. That's especially coming down the mountain. It's not what you want to see going sideways, but as you were saying.
But we do appreciate you subscribing and doing all that and trying your level best to get us to 4,200 subs. We would love to hit that by the end of the year. We need less than 10 at this point. That is as long as YouTube doesn't decide to throw a wrench into that again. But beyond that, just wanted to say big thank you to all of you. Final 15 minutes of the race. A couple of pit stops left to go. Joe Dauber still out in the lead. I know the stewards are still working on on some of the racing-related calamities that have occurred tonight. Will Joe Dahlberg get a surprise win? Will there be a penalty? I don't know. Will Neil Pimlott get a shot at the number 777 Ferrari? These are all questions we will have to answer. Will Ibiana come out in an advantageous position to fight Dos Ramos, who has a 5-second penalty? And will Yannick finally make this pass? See if he does. He's going up right beside him around the outside. It is possible if you can hang there, and he has done that. We'll see if he gets it. He's just let in front. Probably a very smart decision. Yannick Schmid getting one of those spots back, and was fought really hard. Leon Seeley, the driver from Barbados, the SOP driver, into the pit lane, out of the lead of the race. They were in 5th place prior to all the chaos. They might be on for a podium here at 246.
And just a quick update with the penalty reports. We have 3 more that have came in. Lap 14, turn 14, involving the 8.
We're still doing this, by the way.
For God's sake. The 877 and the 6. Drive through for car 6 takes out the 877 position, not returned. And again, lap 14, turn 14, involving the 877 and the 6. Warning for car 877, unsafe rejoin. Then again, lap 14, turn 14, involving the 877 and the 6. Warning for car 877, unsafe rejoin. Up to 2 5-second penalty for second warning. Sorry. So there's some more, and that's as much as we got so far. I'm not sure if there's any more to come out, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, just looking at where people are at the moment, and looking at the 69 silver with 5 second, if they can keep the pace going, they will still finish at the moment first in silver. Because I think Atat, the 505, still needs to do the pit stop. I think we've still got 3 minutes left, so at least a lap to come in and serve. Not sure where they are on track right now. Cool, coming out of the Forest Elbow. So see where they'll be put, but I don't think he'll still be first in silver. Obviously, Eraser again is in pro, so we can scratch that out. Santo is 3rd in silver, followed by the 108. So still a fight going on there. Alexander von der Wood is in the 38. In the Jag is still going around in first in Amb, and probably will, in race 2 you might see them not with a red badge, maybe with a silver one, who knows. But Cody in 2nd place, followed by Miller, who's got a 15-second penalty in 3rd. So it's sort of spread out at the minute between the classes, between the podium positions at this moment in time. There's still a load of racing happening. We've still got Pimlott and a Razor still going at it somewhere, and probably going through the kink again for like 12th time this race. And Miller giving Klinsky a little push with that V8 Aston.
Again, by the way. We're going to go to the wall. Stephen Miller, the Tenacious Tortoise team, going to lose an additional spot there and put another car in between him and the driver he was racing. Just wanted to point out that there was a stop and go issued, but that was HTC assigned to Kerrigan in the 28. Also wanted to point out in the penalty reports that Ted pointed out to you, that is no further action with the 777 and their role to do with the Schmid accident that took out, well, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the time, as it were. And that will be no further action. So the 777, Joe Dahlberg, is not going to be given any sort of penalty. The stewards determined there that absolutely nothing he could have done to avoid that car. And, well, that is where that stands. So if Dahlberg was out in front, he would win this race outright, but he isn't. Leon Seeley had a very nice pit stop, and Dahlberg now 2nd place, 1.5 back off of Seeley for the win of this race. Rudy Philmalter in 3rd place comes out best of that, and now finds himself 5 seconds off Will Stevenson, who qualified incredibly poorly, has kept it together, has kept it in a very, very, very nice race thus far, will get a top 5. I don't even know where he qualified, but it wasn't anywhere near the top 15.
Yeah, Will came out of nowhere. I can find out where he did qualify.
I would love to know, Ted, if you could tell me where that 18 qualified.
19th.
19th place.
Yeah.
Will Stevenson qualified. And keep in mind, all the stuff he had to deal with this race, all of the different accidents he was around, he had to avoid all that. All the passes he must have had to make. And now a top 5, potentially top 4 finish here
This gives me a little bit of confidence just for next weekend, as I'll be driving with him and Daly, so and in the V8 as well, so a bit of confidence for me for next weekend. Still need to do a bit of practice for that, but
definitely makes you feel better, doesn't it, when your teammates are out there tearing it up, you know?
Yep. Just looking at the pit stop times, Seeley did a 42 dead, Dolber did a 46.1, and then Root Fillmore did a 40.2. Pretty quick. Will did a 41.6. So yeah, just looking at that, and obviously looking at silver class as well. The 505 does stay in first in silver, followed by the 69 that has a 5-second penalty. They still have a gap on the 94 Santo, which is third place in silver. So they still keep second at this moment in time, even with the 5-second penalty. So just got to keep it clean for 8 and a bit more minutes, as we still see what's this, Pimlott and Eraser still fighting each other.
Keep in mind, both pro cars.
Yes.
Despite the 699 has a silver placard.
That is true. See, obviously it's Lewis and Galinsky. Galinsky with a 5-second will drop back quite a bit at the end of the race. So if I was Lewis, I wouldn't really be pushing too hard to overtake the Aston. I would yeah, play it chill. That's a very good move. Just to chill out. Miller.
Oh, he's been tagged. David Lewis has been tagged.
Oh, it's like commentator's curse there, Jesse, isn't it? You know, Lewis didn't need to do anything, and then Miller comes out of the blue in that pink and orange V8 and gives him a little love tap. Let's see how.
This is not David Lewis. This is David Lewis that's about to get sent.
Oh. Yeah, that's
dear, oh dear.
It's another one for the stewards to look at there. Very unfortunate, but these things do.
Oh, Leon. Oh, okay. I thought Seeley was sitting in the infield of the. Oh, he was. He was. Joe Dolber's now in the lead of the race. Something horrible has happened to Leon Seeley, and now he is out of this race. Joe Dolber leads. Oh my goodness.
It's Night Owl. Where are they?
But by the way, Dario Barzaghi, who was running in second place, looked a good fight for the win today, was involved in that accident, has got himself a penalty, and on top of that has had a subsequent crash. And the SOP Esports driver is hanging out in the middle of the racetrack right now.
Yeah, I've just had a look at the helicam on Seeley, and they just stopped for a hot dog. So that's,
wow,
that is very unfortunate. That is the worst thing that can happen, especially around Bathurst when you're doing so
in the final
good.
10 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, that sucks. I have nothing else to say. I'm not rubbing any more salt in that wound.
Leon Seeley was competing to possibly win his first pro race here in RCI competition. He's had opportunities prior, but has not had the fastest car or been in the best position. Today, he had it afforded to him, had a fantastic stop, but some sort of connection issue has rendered them to the middle of the racetrack. They're chilling with the Aussies. They're, I think as they say around here, pounding brews, I think now. And he'll want to have one after what just happened to him leading this race inside the final 10 minutes. Joe Dolber, the leader. Rudy Philmalter, second. And that promotes, ladies and gentlemen, Will Stevenson up to third from 19th place on the grid.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, Jesse, you read my mind. We are synced like a hive mind. Yeah, very well done for Will at the moment. Obviously, the race is not over. Anything can happen, as we just seen from Seeley, but just had a little note whispering in my ear that they would have gotten a DT anyway for it, for a punt they did apparently. So that was they weren't gonna finish this race in first place, but yeah, still sucks as it is to DC.
Oh,
But
I see. Sealy will likely still receive a drive-through penalty, but it will make no difference as they are no longer in this race. They're in the pit lane, falling through the back half of the top 20. So that's unfortunate for them. Anyone who's led this race has had something happen to them. Joe Dauber's come out the best, though. They were involved in an accident and somehow was able to maintain pace and has done just that and has been afforded the lead back again. John Razor and Timothy Flamger continue to race each other, though Razor is now up the grid or up the field by about, what does that say, 3 seconds now. Razor has pulled away from Timothy Flamger, who still has the speed juice fastest lap of the race. So that's bonus points to the 19, no matter where they finish here today.
I do see something though. Dolber and Will have 2-minute 2s, whereas Flamger has. Oh, Flamger does have a 2-minute 2. I read that wrong. I read the last lap. Jesse, ignore me. I'm gonna go back to sleep now.
Well. Final couple of minutes left in the race. Neil Pimlott here, trying to do his best to drive away, navigate traffic, and doing just that as Pimlott was able to eventually get around John Razor, who has a silver number banner, but is a pro driver. We assure you they'll be given pro points for this race. That caused by not enough time to re-upload the entry list.
Someone's crashed in Skyline.
They certainly have. Luckily, not a lot of traffic on that particular part of the circuit right now. IB Ada leads in the silver class over Dos Ramos.
Oh, is this car? I don't know. No, what's happening anymore, Jesse?
Rilano seems to have had an issue, and it is Rilano.
It was. What I'm going to say is coming through the top of Skyline there, lost the rear end on the bounce and ended up
Very
sitting there.
respectful, though. You got to say, the way that Omar rejoined the racetrack.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I'm going to hit him with a Britishism here. That was very lovely.
Lovely.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along.
Jesus.
But yeah, that was exactly what happened to Rilano. I assume you're 100% correct. Everybody's done it. The track falls away so suddenly. If you have too much steering input, you're not pointed in the right direction you want to go. You're going around, I'm afraid.
Yeah, see Cody's had an amazing race today. Props to them for keeping them going in that Porsche. Second in AM, which is lovely to see. With Miller in the other Porsche in third in the AM class. Can't forget about the AMs here.
Absolutely.
Everyone is equal.
Vanderwood has done such a good job in that Jag. They're going to get the win over Watkinson, and Miller in third place, even with the 15-second penalty, not enough to bring Kevin Boss into that fight for AM.
Just realized,
of course,
everyone's in front of a Razor.
Yeah, it has been like that for a couple. When you were reading off penalties the last time, Ted,
when I wasn't looking, I see.
Yes, indeed. It always happens like that.
It does.
Of course, Dos Ramos will be second in silver, and Santo third in that class. No fights between all of those drivers. Timothy Flamger continuing to try and get up there and battle Pimlott for one more spot at top 5. But I just think he's going to run out of time here.
Getting back up to 6th place though, and fastest lap. That's an extra 2 points. I believe it's 2 points. I will double check right now, but getting back up
this
to
is dangerous. I don't like this.
6th place, 5th in pro. Oh, what is happening here? Oh, that was close. Oh,
Yannick Schmid, who's had a additional crash, just trying to limp that Pit Stop UK Sim Sport Mercedes home. Found himself in the middle of a gaggle. And this could be dangerous as you get over on the corner. You bet he has a little bit of contact right there as well with Gaida.
Cody gonna go for the move.
He's going down the inside is what he's doing.
Go on, Cody. Look at that. Nice move. Very well done for the Porsche driver right there. Yeah, I just checked. It is 2 points for fastest lap. So Flamengo doing very well to get at the minute, fastest lap, and to get back up to 6th place. We have a yellow flag. It's the 6th. It's
Pavel Galinsky.
Oh, lovely rejoin. Luckily, it wasn't backwards and it was just sideways. I wonder what happened here, going through Skyline.
Can I assume the same that happened earlier?
Ooh,
No, that's different. Went over
the
yeah.
Oh, that's a big hit, but luckily not in the racing line.
You know you've got the corner wrong when you make it that far.
Yeah. Oh, I had to do another move.
He's taking his driving test. Is what Galinsky's doing.
Did the right thing though. Went backwards first and realised the barriers there, and then waited. Luckily, you can see people coming down the mountain there. Oh, what is happening here? Too wide with the beamers, and then.
Oh, this is going to end badly! He hits both of them! He runs through the middle. 2 of the cars go off. One of the BMWs just about saves it. I'm pretty sure he double tapped. This is not a zombie survival game. You can't do that. We're going 3 wide into Murray's.
What is this, Jesse? Eraser's getting in the mix. Flamger is in the mix. Flamger almost took out, I believe, that BMW in front. There was the SRI car. That was.
They've all crossed the line. This is the end of the race. Joe Dahlberg's won it. Rudy Philbalter second. Will Stevenson third. That's why they were going for it. It was the last lap. Ibiana's won it in the Silver Classy. Razor has taken home 5th in the Pro class here.
Ramos in the 69 taking home 2nd. Santos 3rd in silver as Powell hits the wall. Alex van der Waal.
Oh, he sends him! He absolutely sends him! It's bowling in Murray's corner, and that is not on.
The stewards are not gonna look on that with. Yeah, they're just gonna. they're not gonna like that. Definitely not. That is
absolutely not on.
Bad. That's really bad. But yeah, Alex van der Waal takes first in AM, followed by Cody in second place and Miller in third AM. But yeah, driver of the day, Jesse Lee. As we
it can be nobody else other than Will Stevenson.
Will Stevenson, exactly.
The CLR driver, incredible.
Stayed out. Didn't even have one incident. Didn't even touch a wall. I don't think. Stayed out of everything. Didn't really see them until lovely Mawson took us over there to look at the car. Avoided a few incidents. They just kept it clean. And that's what you got to do. And
by the way, I saw something.
The race isn't over yet. Clark
no, it's certainly not over for some of the cars, but as we wait for everybody to come across the line because they were so spread out, one of our people in chat, lovely chatters, said the rejoin from earlier that we were gawking at deserves a bottle of water, and I absolutely agree. Oh no, still could go wrong for Stephen Clark here as everybody else is crossing the line. We've got some very fantastic deserving winners. But might I say, a couple of drivers that should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah. The stewards are going to have to look at that quite intensely. And just looking at Stephen Clark still going round. I'm not sure how many laps farther back they are, but I think they're quite a few. 14 laps. I don't know if that's in the 85% rule as we have. If you don't get 85% of the race laps, the leader laps, you don't get any points. We'll find out. They were 14th in silver, but I'm not sure if they'll pick up any points. Maybe race, but they will finish.
Maybe driver of the day Will Stevenson. Maybe spirit of the race award Stephen Clark for Rex Autosport. Sorry.
Yeah, coming across the line and finishing the race. Finishing Bathurst is something to be proud of.
I'm going to talk directly to our broadcaster. Broadcaster Balson, could we please see the unofficial results, please? We'll see if we can do that. Ted, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Go ahead, do all the lead comm stuff. Go on.
You put me on the spot now, Jesse. I have totally forgot what the lead comms does, but here we are. Joe Dolber takes home first in Pro, followed by Phil Mortar and Stevenson for second and third. Very well done for Stevenson to come back from 19th in qualifying. That is something, and everyone doing very well. We've got Atta first in silver with the 69 Ramos in second and Santo in third. The 94 BMW. Done very good job by those three drivers. Ramos did have a 5 second, but still keeps it ahead of the 94. Then we got Alexander van der Waal in the 38. Jag at Mawson likes very much comes home first in, and followed by Cody in the Porsche and Miller also in the Porsche. I had, I think, 15-second penalty towards the end of that, so puts them a bit further back in the overall result. But well done to those three drivers. And see here, everyone else didn't have too much of a bad race, but yeah, a few people got some really big penalties. Some people got taken out of the race, and yeah, it's not a bad one, Jesse, but wasn't the best.
Yeah, you got to feel bad for a couple of those cars, Magazi, for instance, and of course Timothy Flamker, who was able to recover just a little bit. He'll be wondering what might have been. Leon Seeley leading the race was going to get a drive-through regardless, but even still, leading the race, that's a heck of a way to go out. Credit to Joe Dauber running his race and realizing, our angles are really poor, and it looked like he was involved in a crash, and he was, but had absolutely no way to escape such an incident. So Dauber took the damage on the chin and still won the race, was able to maintain his position throughout. And then when Seeley had their issue, again, turns out that was rather by the by because of the penalty. Joe Dauber, deserving winner, was in the wars today, but got it done. Now, wow, just incredible scenes that we've seen here today. That was as advertised, I would agree. I think everybody would agree, sorry. And, well, Ted Edwards, what do we got coming up in the next coming weeks?
Well, we have a bye week for the 12-hour of Bathurst. That is next Saturday. You can still, I believe, you can still sign up for that on the website racerci.com, and you'll see the championships and one-offs we have there. Yes, it is still open until the 26th of November. 12 hours of being scared that you're going to hit the wall is something to look forward to. Actually, it's pretty fun. Yeah, just an all-round good track to do a 12-hour on. I've done one or two of them, and they've been pretty fun. And then after that, we have the round 2 of Donington Park for Night Owl, and that's got some crazy pit requirements that we will tell you in 2 weeks' time, unfortunately. And then we have another bye week for the EWC, and then we have round 3 of Watkins after that, December 17th. So it will be a Christmas break, winter break, Jesse. So you can put your socks back on. And yeah, we're back at Watkins Glen for the 90-minute final, an hour and a half of American track, because we've been Australia, UK, and then to America for the final. So yeah, 3-round tramp. 3 different countries, 3 different lovely tracks, voted by the drivers themselves. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And don't forget, we have other championships. Also, we've got the Genetic Cup on a Monday. You can still sign up for that. We still got 2 rounds left. We've got Watkins Glen and Donington Park, and also Wednesday Champ is coming up. A Random Track Championship it is called. Don't know the track until the day of the race, so there is 4 races of them, starting from, I believe, the 23rd of November. So next Wednesday it starts. It's that's something to look forward to. And Thursday Champ, the GT4 Champ we have as well. There's still 1 round in already. Been to Suzuka, going to Monza next, and that's a pretty fun championship. I'm driving in that with Tom Bryant, the admin of that championship, and it's a pretty fun one. Come and join. There's a GT4 and TCX, the M2 TCX, pretty fun car. Basically just your normal standard daily car, just with some racing brakes on. And yeah, it's we also got the Friday Mini Winter Series. Don't forget about that. That's the 3-round champ as well. Misano, Kota, and Kyalami. So yeah, some fun championships to look forward to. We've got the one-off next weekend. So yeah, have a look on the RCI website, racerci.com, and just sign up.
Certainly is the case as well. Ted was leading the comms today, and he decided to give me a little bit of a break. But you got one more thing you got to do, Ted. What is it? Do you remember?
The shout out to our partners. I believe it is, Jesse. It's I don't have the script, Jesse. I believe it's Fanatec where you can get your lovely sim racing gear. They have some lovely stuff. I know a lot of our staff have their equipment, and say it is top quality stuff. Also, AK Informatica, who help us with the servers, and yeah, we wouldn't be here without them giving us help and support and these lovely races that we host here at RCI. And then also driver 60, is he driver 61? You put me on the spot here, Jesse. This is not fun.
Do you want me to do it?
Can you please?
I'd like to thank Driver 61. You can get 25% off your driver coaching by going to driver61.com using our discount code. The link for that is in the description of the video. Driver coaching can make you a better sim racing driver. Of course, AK Informatica for providing our server solutions as always. And of course, use our affiliate link when making purchases of quality sim racing hardware at fanatec.com. It was a crazy race that saw everyone in the top 5 affected. And it has led us to this point where we have a week off to think about it, and we're right back in the saddle for the middle of the season. What will happen as we leave the mountain? I don't know. What I can say, the most painful thing I have to say ever so often, this race result pending post-race penalties. It wasn't crazy in the way we thought. It was a fairly mundane start that ended up getting more and more interesting as it went on. In the end, Joe Dauber found himself leading the field to victory. Incredible stuff. Ted Edwards, final thoughts.
Yeah, an amazing race from all the drivers. Obviously, we had some incidents, but that is Bathurst and that is Night Owl. These things do happen, and the drivers got the penalties that the stewards thought was deserved. But yeah, all in all, a very good race, and well done to Will as the driver of the day, getting from 19th back up to 3rd in Pro. So all in all, an amazing race.
Well, one left thing to do is thank everybody out there for watching. We appreciate your likes and your subscriptions. We'll be back with you on Monday for continuing coverage of the Genetic Cup. Night Owl has the week off next week due to EWC. And of course, we'll see you on Thursday as well. And we thank you all for being with us on behalf of the admins, the stewards, and everybody here in the broadcast team. Thank you for watching. Ted, say who we are. Take us out.
I have been Ted Edwards, joined by Jesse Lee and Ryan Moss on the cameras. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.